Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful program on JCTV Africa, where we are talking about what is happening in around Zimbabwe. And today we are going to be taking a look at the panic that is inside ZANU PF and looking at what are the prospects, what are the permutations. And coming up in this show today, we are not going only to talk about ZANU PF, we're also going to talk about the effect of Donald Trump's policy, which is America First, and how it will affect you as an individual. And we look at also at those permutations. We're also going to look again at the issue of Godfrey Terengamu. Hopefully, we are going to have him on the show tomorrow. And we might also have Mr. Douglas Monzora. So the show is going on. And as usual, you're also welcome to give us your thoughts through your WhatsApp voice notes. So that you can give us feedback on what you think about all these things that are happening. But before we go into the show, I want to play you the voice notes of the feedback that we had yesterday. So you are also welcome to give us feedback now as we are live, so that we can play them on air and let others think through what you also think. My name is Kenan, and I'm your host for tonight. So let's just dive into the voice note of last night and hear what this viewer had to say.
Good evening, good evening. I'm proud to participate in the debate on this ZANU PF thing. Politics in Zimbabwe, I think from the day one, there were a lot of sellouts. From independent itself, like since 1980, I think there was the party was divided. And I think the leadership of ZANU PF is proud to divide their people because they will benefit. They know they are not being loved by all of them, so they choose few people. They give money to support them. So there's always a there's always other people who support the wrongdoings of the ruling party. There is always people who support them because they benefit.
Okay.
Even if they know that the ruling party is not doing the best, is not doing what is supposed to be done, they don't care because they are selfish. They get money from them.
Okay.
They are the criminals. They looting. They don't care about the country. They don't care about the rest of the country. They are selfish. Even if there remain five of them, even two of them, as long they've got power, they can control the army, they can control a lot of things. As long they've got enough money, because what is happening is a lot of people, the majority, don't have access to money. That's why they put army there, they put CIOs there, so that they protect what they are looting. They bring the Chinese, especially. That's a very big sign that you can see that they are up to no good. They don't care about what other people are. A lot of people, they're starving. A lot of people are suffering in their own country, but they don't care about that. Imagine bringing Chinese to mine those minerals from Zimbabwe, taking them away. It's only few people benefiting. So those people who are supporting the 2033 agenda, I think they are benefiting, but it's not a long-term thing. It's a small, short-term benefit. They don't care. There are only few of them benefiting there. So for them to come on the media, telling the whole country, the whole everybody about opposing what is the other war veterans are saying. Of course, I understand that was there before. That is remains there. The factional, those are different. They've got different views always. So only if they get united, but that will never happen.
Mm, mm, mm.
Only if they get united, but I know that will never happen. They will.
All right. The voice note is quite long, but you get the understanding. We're going to put it on our WhatsApp platform so that you can go and check it out. But that is another voice note. Let me play you another one so that you can hear. This is rather a question to Mr. Mandaza.
Hello, JCTV. How are you? Hope I find you well. I got a question that I just want you to ask Mr. Mandaza that when Mnangagwa get into power, does they also go to constituencies for him to be elected as a president, or is just from the bush straight into the office? May you please ask Mr. Mandaza about that question? Thank you.
All right, those are your voice notes from our viewers, Thank you for being part of the show. Now, we want to play a video by Minister Garwe saying that, to me, it sounds like a panic. It shows that the man is panicking or the camp is panicking over the accession by the VP, who is now the acting president. And if you don't see any signs of panic in this statement, you must be delusional. But let us listen to what he says here as he is showing signs of panic. This is Minister Garwe. Just listen to this. All right.
Tinonzi vana gomwe kana tsenengamu kana mumwe uyo vachitaura zvavari kutaura musatya musavhunduka nekuti vafundiswa vanotaura kuti kana muchida kuona ukuru hwaMwari panotanga pabuda dhimoni. Iri idhimoni riri kubuda kuti ukuru hwaMwari huonekwe. Haleluya. The glory of God.
I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know if you can hear this.
The
Please
glory
give me
of
feedback.
God
Can you hear this?
through our
Can you hear what the minister is saying?
Whether they like it or not, whether
Anyway,
they shouted the president or not, whether they
I'll play it
denigrate the
again.
president.
But what he's saying here is saying kuti kuna the president vachangopinda muchida musingadi. Now that statement is a defeatist statement. If you listen to it, it is a statement yakuradza kuti yes, we are going to go ahead, but it does not have the backing of the military from the look of things. At this point in time, I'll only believe that the army is fully backing 2033 agenda if I hear a statement from Anselm Sanyatwe, from Philip Valerius Banda, from any of the service chiefs and army commanders. If one of them is given a platform somewhere and they pledge their allegiance to President Idi Mnangagwa, then we know that Vice President Chiwenga is not is alone. But from now, we haven't heard any statement from the guys from the army. They are pledging their allegiance to VP Chiwenga, obviously, from the statement that has been made by the war veterans. But anyway, we are going to unpack much of that tomorrow, as we are going to be having two different guests from one of those who are from former ZANU PF, who can then unpack what is really going on. But from the look of things, this is another 2016-2017 factional fight that was in ZANU PF, whereby this G40 was saying Bamugabe ngawapinde pa 2018 elections, and they were hoping that they were pushing the agenda to have Grace Mugabe to succeed, because literally she had already captured, and people were earmarking her to become the vice president and literally to become the president, because when they fired, when they said 9 out of 10 provinces have declared no confidence in Idi Mnangagwa, which means that there was no, he was not going to be to be nominated to contest against President Robert Mugabe. So what we are seeing now is that we are going to see the army stepping in, and this is a surety. This is a surety, and the signs are there. Ignore them at your own peril. The time in 2017, people were saying, okay, Mugabe is too powerful, no army is going to do anything. But when we saw the tankers on the road, we saw that Mugabe became powerless. So I don't believe these are empty threats from the war veterans. I don't believe these are statements that are being made by this man, the minister, Garwe. It shows that he has been defeated. And that's how the army works. But anyway, let us go into the next story that we wanted to talk about, the story of HIV. So currently what you are seeing is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or the foreign policy of the United States government, has since withdrawn aid from Africa. And I want you to understand that this is a very, very complex subject when you talk about aid that is in Africa. Many people are living off the aid of Africa, from America. And I want you to go and read this book that you are seeing on the screen if you care to know about the aid that is coming from America or from these other countries. The book by Dambisa Moyo, which is called Dead Aid. And it talks about why aid is not good for Africa. So please go and check out that book if you want to understand where Africa is. But let me dive into the details of what is happening. As you can have seen maybe in the report that I'm going to fly on the screen now of Opo Oshungono saying that Trump is literally stopped aid. And I was watching on South African news networks, Newsroom Africa, they were saying that the PEFA aid is going to end, but not all of it. However, the most worrying thing is about HIV, and there are a number of ramifications or effects, ripple effects that we are going to see getting into the society. Number one, the people that are living with HIV. You know that those that have got HIV or that are living on ARVs, most of them, when you talk of Zimbabwe, most of them, this is coming from foreign aid. And what this means is, in the next few months, a lot of people are going to default their treatment. When people default their treatment, you know how it's going to end, especially in our hospitals. The government has shown that they don't have money to deal with this problem. They were not prepared. And this unpreparedness of our governments, or especially our government, is very, very worrying, because Donald Trump won in November. And he had said out through his campaign that they were going to cut aid. And not only that, in 2020, Donald Trump cut aid from WHO. So we knew, or the African governments knew, that this was going to come. But the ripple effects on the people that are living with HIV who are on ARVs is going to be very massive, because many people are going to default their treatments. And the other thing that is going to happen is the ARVs are going to be found on the black market. That's what is going to happen. And some of the people right now, as we are speaking, now that this decree has been ordered, some people are already hoarding these ARVs in huge numbers, and it's going to be available on the black market until the government fixes this problem, because this is a ticking time bomb. If you have not seen how HIV ravaged families in the 90s and the early 2000s, we are about to be shocked again, because you know the effects of HIV. You know how people died. You know, I've seen family members die of HIV. I've seen relatives die of HIV. And this is a recipe for disaster. But what did the Minister of Finance say about this? He said that they are going to raise money from taxes. Just imagine, they are going to raise money from taxes. But we have a lot of minerals that are in Zimbabwe. Why are they not being channeled towards making sure that we have enough ARVs. We've got diamonds. What is the work of the diamonds doing that we are selling? Recently, there has been a report that we have sold so much in terms of minerals, in terms of precious minerals. We have sold this much. There was a report that is on ZBC that we've sold so much. But the question is, where is the money going? Why are we not investing in the welfare of our people? And if the aid has been cut, not only does it mean people are going to default from HIV, some of the NGOs, they are going to close shop. And the closing shop of some of the NGOs, it means unemployment for many people. There are so many people that have been living, good lives because they are working for non-governmental organizations. And this is the aid that Trump's administration is going to cut. If we have seen the effects of sanctions on Zimbabwe, we are supposed to envision the effects of the cutting of aid in Africa, what it is going to mean. So this is a problem. But as we conclude this broadcast, I want us to look at the main topic of our day, which is the panic which is within ZANU PF. And maybe look at it from to be played devil's advocate in this scenario, to say, you remember in 2016, 2017, and when the 2017 happened, people then got to realize that the 2017 Operation Restore Legacy, when it happened, the people or the beneficiaries, the current administration that is here, they claimed ZANU PF when people were used to go and march. So now, what I'm saying is, there is a need for people to tread carefully. Should the opposition in Zimbabwe or the civil society in Zimbabwe join in the bandwagon of the chaos within the factions of ZANU PF, or they should be stepping away? Because you don't want a repetition of 2017, whereby the opposition came all in because they were in their own struggles or in disarray, just like what it is now, whereby there is no opposition leader right now. Nelson Chamisa has abandoned his post. So there is no opposition leader who is strong to talk about, who has got the political capital now that sorry about that. The political capital that can counter ZANU PF. There is nothing. So now, if you talk of Sengezo Chabang, if you talk of Jameson Timber, if you talk of Professor Oshmenwe, all of them, they are not matched to ZANU PF now. ZANU PF is on top. And if the army is going to step into this chaos, they are going to step in and protect their territories within ZANU PF. That will still embolden ZANU PF, just like what happened in 2017, whereby people were used. So my issue is, as much as people are excited about this chaos, as much as we talk about it, as much as we discuss about it, one needs to be extra careful, because at the end of the day, people might be used as a conduit or to sanitize a crisis that is within the ZANU PF party and make it to renew itself again. So that is my call to say, as much as because if you checked, many people, it's not that President Idi Mnangagwa was loved by the Zimbabweans as a whole. He was not like the loved person. He was not the most loved person. But because there was a political vacuum at that particular point, MDC had split, there was PDP, there was that, and there was a political vacuum. And people are always going to the people were so fed up with Mugabe that they wanted his back. And anything that promised to get rid of Robert Mugabe, it was their favorite. Just like as it is now, people are fed up of the taxes. People are fed up of there are a lot of things that they are fed up about the current administration. There are so many things that we can talk about, but let it not be that people become so fed up that they lose focus on what they've been fighting for these past 25 years. That is my call to the people that are in the opposition, that don't lose your guard. Don't be caught in the euphoria, because if you are going to be caught in the euphoria, you are going to find yourself on the wrong side of, because politics is a very dirty game, but also it is a game of chess whereby you need to know your moves. And the opposition in Zimbabwe has not been that calculative. That's why they've been losing elections. Of course, they can blame ZANU PF for rigging, but they've not been calculative enough in order to outwit ZANU PF in their steps. And the issue of co-opting that has been happening, whereby opposition members, they become, you hear this person is an opposition member, then 2 years, 3 years down the line, they are now part of ZANU PF. So that is my what can I say, my warning to the people that are in the opposition. But I want to hear your thoughts. What do you make of this fight that is within ZANU PF? What does it tell you? What does it tell you about our country? What does it tell you about our politics? Is there anything that we can learn from the 2017? Is there anything that we can learn from what is happening? I'd love to hear your thoughts as we conclude this program. So I'm going to be reading your thoughts and your comments, and check out if there are any voice notes on this subject. Okay, still let me read your comments here as we conclude. I can see here there's okay, this is my regular viewer. All right, this is Garwe Crispin Kaseke saying Garwe anorwara very soon achazviitira. Yeah, you remember in 2017 there were people who were so vocal. The military must the gun must follow the politics. I don't know the statement yaitaurwa na Jonathan Moyo and Kudzai Chipanga. Now, these are some of the things that we saw happening. And these are the things that we saw are happening in 2017, whereby there was people like the Minister of ICT, Tatenda Mavetera, was seen chanting, sort of like anti-Chiwenga chants, just like what was happening Pait Kwama anti-Mnangagwa chants. You remember when the people were chanting Kublawayo pa youth interface, when they were chanting the Pakazo Buddha statement rekuti ndakakatadza here kuisa vamunangagwa kuti vaite mutevedzeri wangu kana zvakadaro ndichavadonedza. That statement by Robert Mugabe. That statement came because there was too much factions that was inside ZANU PF. But as I said, opposition must not get too excited, because they would want to see ZANU PF do all the dirty work, and they will come and claim the prize. If there is anything that they need to do, is to say that they are organizing protest and putting their clear demands, or they should be organizing meetings with the military in order to say, what is our share in this whole issue? If you are saying that you want us to have we want to have equal democracy, want to have equal opportunities, what is our share as the opposition? We know we have got a bigger constituency of people that support us that has been proven by elections. What is our share? They should make demands and bold declarations, not to fall in the same trap of 2017, because that is another retrogressive move that we are going to see if that happens. But anyway, there's Cherry here. She wants to give her contribution. I'm waiting for a voice note that is downloading now. But that is the conversation that we're going to be having. But I hope you are going to participate in the conversation that we're going to be having tomorrow. We're going to be having MDC leader Douglas Monzora, for him to explain his side of his story of what happened over the weekend when he was at that funeral. And we're also going to have former ZANU PF chairperson, youth chairperson, Mr. Godfrey Tsenengamu. We're also going to have Chimama on this platform on the morning show. So please press up for that. We're going to have different kind of guests on this platform as we are going to be looking at what Zimbabwe is likely to see in the next 12 to 18 months. Are we going to see the change of government? What are the prospects? What should the Zimbabweans do? How can the Zimbabweans participate in this if there is going to be amendment of constitution? How can the Zimbabweans participate in that change? How can the Zimbabweans, what do Zimbabweans need to know? You see, so these are some of the things, the conversation that we're going to be having, and we are going to be having experts. This podcast is going to be also in Zimbabwe. We're going to be having roundtable conversations on this, so that we have conscientized our people on what is happening and how can they participate in the political discourse. Because over the years, we've seen that people are now, they only get in the political discourse when it's towards elections, and sometimes it will be too late for them to make conscious decisions. And some of the people, they don't participate in the elections, and that is a thing that we need to end, because in this era of information needs to be disseminated, and the right information has to be disseminated so that people can make conscious decisions. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful platform. We hope that you enjoyed this show, and we are going to have another show in the morning where we're going to be having our guest and talking about the paging, or the potential paging that is going to happen, and the bickerings that is happening inside ZANU PF, and what could be the end of this. It's going to be interesting times. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. It's goodbye for now.